Our king and queen have had some time to settle in, implement some laws, and make some changes. They both decided to be benign rulers and to only legislate where absolutely necessary and in a highly democratic way. They both have to agree on it. They both agreed that the first law to come into force would set the tone for their whole reign, and as such, they decreed that all kink shaming was punishable by death, and there was mandatory bagpipe practice on Sundays. After not too long, they decided they should have a child, a progeny, to continue their wise rule. Sadly, the king was impotent, partly because of an accident that occurred on the stag do, and partly because we would have had to start this story about 15 years in the future if they had been able to have a child. So, they adopted from a kind farmer who was unable to afford his child, and who was assured that the child, Rodney, would go to a loving home, and that he would be able to visit after bagpipe practice on Sundays. The problem with Rodney was that he was thick as pig shit, possibly because he grew up on a farm. Either way, he was an intellectual drain on all who talked to him. Well-meaning, though.
Right, Rodney. Your mother and I are going to deal with some highly royal business throughout the kingdom. You will be in charge. There's nothing too much to do. All we ask is that you look out for robbers. We don't want them stealing our belongings. And we're a target, remember? Because we are chuffing minted.
Or robbers.
And people who take belongings without asking or giving them back. Come on, darling, we're going to be late.
What are belongings?
Belongings, darling, are stuff and things. This castle and everything in it is our stuff, our belongings. And we don't want to lose any of it to burglars.
What's burglars?
Robbers.
Oh, can the narrator be in charge?
Who?
No one. I'm afraid of nothing. No robber will rob from me.
We could still give him back, you know.
Guess what happened next?
What are you doing here, boy? Where's to rob you?
So what are you waiting for? Go on and rob me. Then what's stopping you? Do you think I'm afraid?
At this point, we're just going to have to imagine burglaring noises. I've checked all over, and I can't find any. Exeunt burglars, and enter king and queen.
Oh, honey, I wouldn't worry. I thought your sand dance was wonderful. I don't think anyone found it offensive. Does something seem off to you about the palace?
Hello? Did you have fun? How did the sand dance go down?
What in all hell happened here? Did you send for the robbers?
Me? I was just here on the floor. The robbers came, they said, "What are you doing here? We have come to rob you." "And who's stopping you?" I said to them. "How dumb can you be?" So they went ahead and robbed us. I had nothing to do with it.
Fuck me, you have some nerve. I'm absolutely furious. I'm in 5th gear. You're going to your priest uncle.
What's a priest uncle? I don't know of any priest uncles, or anybody else. If we must go to my priest uncle, let's go.
So this is a church. Wow. I wish we had one of these.
We do. This is it. That's why we brought you to this one. Now come over here and be introduced. This is your priest uncle.
So you've arrived, have you? I'll have your clothes sent to your room. Don't get too cozy. We're eating early tonight because your chores are starting immediately. Tonight you will go and turn the lights out in the church. And that takes a long time in this story because we're using candles.
And here we go again.
What a light.
Bright things above you.
What is a church?
Stone thing around you.
I don't know of any lights or any church. I'll go wherever you say. I'm afraid of nothing.
Not many poetry, is it? Philly? Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Now, the priest uncle had decided to make these chores a nightmare for old Rodney. I'm unclear as to why. Perhaps he thought some critical thinking would do the boy good. Perhaps he was merely being the hard-nosed archetypal priest. It seems strange to think that playing tricks on a boy would somehow grant him intelligence, but his orders were from the top, so Rodney got tricked. The priest had given instructions to his sacristan that he should lower a basket of flaming candles and say to Rodney,
"Get in the basket whoever wants to see the kingdom of heaven."
"We won't put you through the pain of listening to it again," but Rodney asked,
What heaven? What heaven? I don't know of heaven. Wait, let me get in.
A sacristan is a person in charge of a sacristy and its contents, or the sexton of a parish church. A sacristy is a room in which one keeps vestments and other church furnishings. Sexton has the word sex in it.
Right, time to see if that boy has burned his ass on those candles yet. What in the... He's just cut the bloody rope, forgive me, Lord, for swearing.
This is a scene change.
Stepping it up seems the only way to go, your priestliness. I don't know how you're going to instill some intelligence into that boy, but trying to get him to sit in a burning basket of candles doesn't look like it'll work.
But it worked so well for that young girl. What was her name?
Faith.
Yes, Faith. That was it. And she went on to win the Blasphemous Collegiate Competition.
You mean University Challenge?
Strange things, kids. More communion wine?
No, I really mustn't. I have to go and get ready for tonight's trick.
Yes. Remember, he must think you're dead until the absolute last second. I repeat, the absolute last second.
Enter for Jesus. Ah, yes, hello. There's some wafers on the side if you're hungry. I heard about your little stunt with my rope. That wasn't cheap, you know. Now, for tonight's task, you are going to wake a dead man.
What is a dead man?
Oh, surely not. Well, it is a man who isn't alive anymore. He's asleep, but, well, forever.
What is wake?
Ah! Unbelievable. Look, when you see a dead man, you nudge him and you wake him up, okay?
Sure. I'll go anywhere.
Oh, miss the doorbell!
Strange that I keep getting sent on these wee tasks. I mean, why would he want me to wake a dead man at this time of night? What could the dead man possibly have on now that is so important I couldn't just wake him up in the morning for? Come to think of it, what's he doing sleeping in a graveyard? Awfully drafty. Especially weird considering Uncle has about 10 spare rooms. Oh well, I've heard him say God moves in mysterious ways, and this is mysterious. Ah, there's the coffin I'm looking for. Oh, well, he looks dead. I'd better nail this shut before he starts to smell.
You there? I'm still alive. Hello? Hello?
Well?
That dead man really looked too dead to wake, Uncle. I nailed him back in the coffin for you. Weird time to try and wake someone up as well. I'm sure he appreciated the extra rest, to be honest with you.
Oh, fuck me!
If only he was there at the beginning of the story when I said that this boy was as thick as pig shit. Ugh. Well, there you have it. The fearless simpleton was now a murderer, and no less stupid than when he started out. Keep searching for the moral in that one. I've gone over it umpteen times whilst preparing to tell you these stories, and honestly, I'm still unsure. But I haven't murdered anyone since I saw that happen, and I can really only see that as a win. And now, I must leave you. Further travels await me, and so I leave you, hanging precariously off a cliff. As mean as it sounds, the king and queen immediately gave their son back to the farmer. He was really bad for image. When you join us again, we will be on the road, in search of another child for our unhappy rulers. One that meets the criteria of not being very stupid and not killing anyone. And if you were around Italy in the early years, you would know that was virtually impossible. But that's where the draw to come back and listen comes, so get ready. I'll see you then.